Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to the GRE Preparation Made Easy Verbal Reasoning class by Mrs. Annapurna Murugan. Few instructions for the participants. Make sure you have a stable internet connection and a noise-free environment. We recommend you to use your earphones for best experience. Also, please respect your instructor, your classmates, and yourself. Do not write anything inappropriate on the chat box. We have three packages: bronze, silver, and gold. If you upgrade to silver and gold, you'll get extra benefits like evaluated mock tests, expo university recommendations, and so on. We also have profile evaluation with our experts, comprehensive evaluation, university shortlisting, course recommendation, and doubt clearance. We have free live IELTS classes that is from Monday to Friday. It is a 4-week course from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. And Duolingo classes Monday to Friday, 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. It is a 2-week course. Also, we have this special offer for bronze packet for gold packet starting from rupees 499 with extra benefits. Here are a few achievements. This is the Ubergrad website. You can select the country, course, and specialization. When you go on Explore, you can select the countries, universities, courses, and exam to get all the information. When you go on Solutions, you have free profile evaluation, talk to the counselor, country recommendations. We also have test preparation store for IELTS, GRE, and Duolingo. Additional services. Also, weekly blogs are uploaded. You can go through them. To contact us, you can call us, WhatsApp us, or mail us. When you go on My Test Preparation and click on GRE View Course, you get the daily handouts and recordings. For verbal ability, the handouts and recordings have been uploaded, and I will be sharing the link on the chat box. Thank you. And in case of any doubt, you can ask me through the chat box. Thank you. And you can take over.
Thank you. Hi, good evening, all. I hope everyone is doing good. Okay, right. Can we start off with the session? Yes. Today, it is second round, but first session of verbal class. That is, we are going to deal with long passages and also few briefings about the verbal part of the GRE will be given to you guys. Okay. So let me share the screen for you guys. I guess everyone could see the screen. Okay. Basically, now if you see, this was the earliest pattern we had. Okay. So we had like, what is that, 30-minute section with 20 questions and 30-minute section with 20 minutes. Like this, we had two verbal part. This was before the change. Okay, now we have a comparatively change section where we have altogether 27 questions will be having. So altogether in verbal part, 13 in the first section and 14 in the later section. And yes, but definitely you could see this reading comprehension will be 50% and sentence equivalence and text completion together 50%. Okay, so that means basically, let me write and tell you guys here. Just give me a second. Let me share the whiteboard. Yes. We have a little change GRE. Test questions and all the test type is same. There is no much difference in the question types because we'll be having same type of questions, that is reading comprehensions. Under reading comprehensions, we have long passages and short passages. See, the difference here is that it's not like long passage, short passage. They are just different by their, this one, what is that? Length. No. This one, what is that? The requirement of both of these passages are entirely different. Long passages questions you on the basis of understanding. while the short passages test your reasoning skills. That means critical reasoning, or I can call it as logical reasoning. So this is basically like what author is trying to say. So that is what you need to understand, and your questions will be based on that. While when it comes to short passages, why author is presenting certain things, what is the reason, so why it is happening like this, why not this. So that means reasoning, so critical reasoning or logical reasoning is tested on short passages. Hence I can say under comprehension side or under comprehension part, we are going to get RCs and CRs, that is long passages we call them as reading comprehensions, while short passages we call it as we call them as critical reasonings. Okay, these together will be having 50%, right? And this 50% score we can get completely correct, but only when you guys practice, when you understand and work on all types of questions, and so when you follow right techniques. Okay, otherwise reading comprehension, critical reasonings could turn out to be a nightmare, but actually they are not. Why? All the answers are there. It is just like open book exam, where you people have the answers in the passage, only you need to understand and pick them up. Okay, so therefore here you people can get complete 50% score or the perfect scores on your reading comprehensions and critical reasonings. But the disclaimer is what you need to first understand how the passages are constructed, what are the different types of questions that we are going to get, and we have certain techniques that you need to be well versed with. And after having the techniques, everything, you need to practice a lot. Okay, so these are the 4 conditions that you need to practice. And then we have one more set of questions, that is nothing but fill up the blanks. Now, fill up the blanks was dime a dozen, like when we were in schools and colleges, isn't it? These questions we are very much aware of. But these questions, what it was based, it used to be based on certain passages or certain things, isn't it? Like on the lessons, they were giving us the fill in the blanks. So we need to go check out and we need to pick up and we need to write the words, or we need to fill up the blanks. But here it is not like that. They won't give any reference passages here. Rather, they give one complete sentence or 1 or 2 sentences. So, and in that they try to take out one of the important word, and you people need to recognize that word. So it's more or less our fill up the blanks. So that we address it as what? Text completion and sentence equivalence. Okay, together this will be having for 50%. Now here also we can get the this one complete perfect score. But here you need to work on sentence construction and vocabularies. Rather than vocabularies, I would like to say lexical resources. So what is that? We need to work on lexical resources. You may be wondering, oh, vocabs, why can't we work on vocabs? Why is that lexical resources? I'll tell. Vocabs means just a word and word meaning. That will not help us, guys. We need to work on wide variety of this one words. So it includes roots, prefixes, suffixes, one word substitutions, a list of family words, then synonyms, antonyms, and along with that you need to work on vocabs, plus additionally you need to work on foreign words as well as jargon. So okay, because you won't be getting like statements and everything extracted from only one type of this one resource. So it could be from mythological, it could be from science and technology, it could be from this one political science. Even the passages are also like that. Even the text completions or sentence equivalent statements or dialogues also will be from these things. So they use a lot of jargons as well. Okay, so that means what we need to work on wide variety of lexical resources. Along with that, we need to understand the sentence structure. Yeah, all these things we further discuss when we discuss about these things. But yes, this is what we basically have when we talk about GRE verbal exam plus AWA writing. Okay, one writing will be having, and this writing plays crucial role. See, because this is the first day of our verbal class, I would like to give the detailings, how important each thing is. Even though this scoring is not included in our this one, what is that, 170 score, but the band is very, very, very important. Okay, it is scored separately on the band of 6 here. Okay, so now you could see many universities will be asking about 4.5 5 band, so they would ask, but what is this? So here you people are lucky. Why? Before you had two writings, okay, but now you have only one writing, and that too, what it is, issue based essay writing, which is really, you guys are lucky. Why? Because you had one more writing, that is argument analysis writing. So there you have to find faults and you need to justify though why your finding fault is correct. Okay, that means you need to criticize author's conclusions there. So therefore that used to be quite complicated. Why? Because first of all, you need to find fault, and over that it should be intact with the passage. And not only that, so all your points should be the stronger one. You cannot just weakly criticize the given argument. So but now what happens, they give you one debate like statement. On that you need to present your opinions or your stand, or what do you feel about that, you need to present. In fact, we'll be writing that also. So therefore here, yes, so they will be checking your writing, not just on the content, but so the way you present your ideas, whether it is organized or just randomly we are putting in, which we usually do. So or so grammatical areas and lexical resources, there are four components that they will be testing here, which again we'll be discussing in this AWA section, right? Now let us further talk about the test. As I said, this test is now section based test. That means a section adaptative. Before now, GRE was, even though it was very lengthy exam, but it was quite, what is that, I can say, it was not completely based on some adaptive thing. That means each and every question had its own difficulty level, but now it is not like that. It is section adaptive, just like your this one, a GMAT exam. You guys would have heard in GMAT exam what happens if you answer first question correctly, second question will be little difficult, and also scoring will be little high. If you answer this also correctly, then third question difficulty will raise. Along with that, the scoring band also will raise. So like that it goes. That means what? As your answers go correctly, the difficulty level of the question also increases, and at the same time, so the scoring also increases, isn't it? So, but and say for example, first question you answer wrong, so what happens? You will get that minimum wala question, and the scoring also will be less. So now you may answer this here. So it goes depending upon your answering. Here also what happens, if the first 13 questions, if you answer correctly, that means first section, if you people answer correctly, what happens? Your second verbal section will be harder. Okay. And I wish you people need to get harder. Why? When you get harder, your scores that you gain also will be high. Okay. But here only, if you tumble down in the first section, if you tumble down, your section could be, the second section should be moderate or easy. When you get moderate or easy, so even if you answer all the questions, your scores will be down only. Why? The range of questions that you are answering will be moderate or easy. Therefore, make sure that the first section should completely go correct. Why? The next section you will get harder one. As the harder one you get, the scores also goes up here. Okay. So therefore, this is the strategy we need to have, even for math also, even for verbal also. This is the thing that you guys need to follow by hook or crook here. Now, let me tell about the passages, because today we'll be focusing our class on reading passages. Now, tell me, how many of you people like to comprehend the passage? Can I know how many of you like to comprehend the passage? Because reading passages, we see that is not a cup of tea for all, isn't it? So usually people think, "Ayo, who will read them? It's the language is difficult," and etc. etc. We all have this feeling. Definitely, you're feeling. I can understand. So, but yes, there is no other go. But you need to. What is that? Have that eagerness, and in fact develop that taste for passages. See, other than, let me keep our test thing aside, the uses of reading passages. Okay, one is, yeah, definitely GRE score will go up. The second thing is that because you will be reading on different topics, what will happen here? You will see that you will gain knowledge. Okay. You will gain knowledge because whatever the passages that they give, they're all factual information, nothing fictitious. They're all research papers. I'll say what content we'll be having. Other than that, so you people will start understanding the language. See, now when we speak about language, you people will be telling, "Ma'am, it's English language only, now we will be understanding." Even though it is English language, every person has a different style of writing. And it is not very easy to understand scholarly writings. And you people definitely are going to this one other countries for study purpose. So whatever the study material that you people are going to witness or come across will not definitely have simple language. There you should not struggle, and that is the reason they are testing reading comprehensions in your GRE. Why? Because you people will get study material as by scholarly people, all erudites, okay, will be presenting the study material for you people. There you should not go and just confused or get confused what we are doing, why we are doing. So that should not happen, because everything that you go across should be properly understood. And not only that, the documentation, everything that you come across, even if you start living in a native speaking country, so every day you witness different documentations. So you need to understand the language. That will be helpful. And also you'll come across lots of words, jargons, everything. So that also will be an advantage. Overall, start loving your reading comprehension task. Okay, don't take it as a burden. If you take it as a stress, definitely doing it so is not possible. But when you start liking comprehending passages, you will be seeing that you can perform well. With this note, let me start off with our main topic, that is reading comprehensions. Here we go. Yes. As I said, reading comprehensions, you would be seeing that you won't just get passages from your, what is that, science. You will be getting from history, you will be getting from literature, you would be getting from economic, so you would be getting from this one, what is that, mythological passages. You may get anything and everything for your reading comprehensions. If at all, if you guys have looked into any of this GRE passage, long passage, you would realize, yeah, we get different things. It's not that you get only science passages. Okay. And these passages will be quite lengthy. Even they may go up to 500 to 750 words here. Okay. Now, these passages, as I said, is written not for your test. Have this in your mind. The passages that you are going to get, they are not particularly made for your GRE exam. They are the research papers. They are research papers or journals that is generally published. Okay. So that means what? The person who has written these passages are not the same person who will be asking the questions on it. That means why I am saying this means the language of your reading passages will be definitely different from the language of your questionnaires that is asked on these passages. That means the questions are framed by whom? The questions are framed by our educators at GRE. Okay. So those people will be making questions on a passage which is available. So there. So definitely what happens, for example, let me tell you, whatever I'm narrating here, you people have understood. You will go and narrate to your friends or family members about the same. But will you be using the same language as I did? Even if you're narrating in English, will you be using the same tone, the same this one words, sentences? No, right? You will be using different words, different sentences. So, but you will express the same idea in the same way. So, whatever is given in the passage, that will be asked in the form of question by our educators using their own language. That means they change the words, they change the way of asking the same idea. That means what? You people need to be very much aware of paraphrasing. This is the first point that you need to keep in mind. Why you need to be aware of paraphrasing? Because the person who has written, so the passage is entirely different from the person who is asking the question for you. Definitely two different persons, two different types of languages we are going to come across. So no, like exactly same words we'll be having. This is the first challenge you people need to overcome. And so the next challenge is the construction of the reading comprehension. So let me tell you guys. So the one of the this one, what is that? Trick that we can successfully use here to understand the passage is what? So our summarization. Now, you people may be thinking, so how we can summarize this one? I'll tell why. You know, these article presenters, as I said, they're all scholarly people. They have one pattern, one common pattern of writing their articles. Okay. That pattern will be narrating you. That is the weakness now. So that is a strength for us. So, but that is their weakness. Why? Because they all go in one particular pattern. Let us understand what is that pattern. Say, for example, if we have 4 paragraphs in one passage in our GRE, okay, I have 4 paragraphs in one passage like this. Now, this 4 paragraph, how it is built, it is not like first paragraph is the main idea, last paragraph is the conclusion, and the remaining body paragraph. No, that pattern they won't be using. That's our pattern. We, like, what is that? We people use that, but not this scholarly people. They have a very different. Every paragraph here will contain one important information which together forms the main idea of the paragraph. That means if you want to know what exactly is happening in this passage, it's not just reading the first paragraph and last paragraph it will give. Or if you read all the 4 paragraphs also, you may get confused. Why? Because so here what happens, they use one pattern. That means they don't have any introduction or conclusion wala system. Every paragraph in itself is one complete idea. Okay. That means every paragraph you need to focus. In each paragraph, they will be having 4 elements. Remember, I'm talking about each para, not about each passage. Each para is having what? 4 elements. These 4 elements could be 10 sentences, could be 20 sentences, or just 4 sentences. But definitely they will be having this 4 elements. I'm using the word definitely here. Yes, because they are very, very, very precise and they are very sophisticated in presenting their ideas. What are those 4 elements that we are going to have? First and foremost is, so your this one, idea of that paragraph, or the main point or main idea that the author want to explain in this particular paragraph. For example, today's main idea that I'm going to present is about RCs, isn't it? Now, even though I talked about the structure, everything, but my main focus is what? On RC. Okay. So therefore, just like that, in that paragraph, we will be having main idea 1. So, and that idea will be explained, and to make the explanation much better, they would be using some evidences or examples. That means they make that explanation more simpler. They make that concept more simpler by presenting some examples or evidence. And ultimately, they try to conclude that main idea. That means what? In simple words, each paragraph, say for example, paragraph 1 contains idea 1, corresponding explanation, corresponding evidences, and corresponding conclusion. That means everything in the first paragraph is based on the idea that they want to express, that the author want to express. Now, paragraph 2 also will have what it will have? It will have idea 2. See, all these are related to one main concept, main idea, but they are substantially expressing each one of it. Idea 2, they will explain it, they will try to give evidence to better understand, and at the same time, so they try to conclude. Paragraph 3, idea 4, idea 3, explain, and you will be surprised to see that they won't be talking anything about this here. Why? This is altogether a second idea. They will try to present only about this idea here, and they will go to the next idea and next idea. Now, together. Only when you know all these four ideas, that four ideas together give the main idea of the passage, right? So they give what? Main idea. So that means what? First and foremost thing, what you need to do, you should not look at the questions, guys. As soon as you get the passage, the condition is, don't look at the questions. If you go for the questions and then you come for the passage, so you will be wasting a lot of time. That is the reason. So I always tell that, so summarize your passage first. Now you may ask me, ma'am, summarizing passage how? Now I'm giving you the technique, guys. Be very careful. So I'm going to tell you how you need to summarize, and this is the first step. I explained so how the passages will be, which I'll be showing you guys. So I'll show in each passage the same pattern, IEEC pattern will be going on. Okay. Not only that, now I'm presenting how to summarize. Remember, I'm presenting how to summarize the passages here. So basically, while you people summarize, what is that you need to do? You need to, we know that first sentence will be the main idea, followed by example, evidence, and conclusion. So that means what? So basically, here we have, okay, the presentation is not visible. Just give me 1 second. Let me reshare. Oh, now it is visible. I guess it is visible, right? Okay. So now you need to summarize. So how do you summarize this? So we know that we have each and every paragraph in this pattern. So if this is in this pattern, what we need to do? We need to use skimming process. Remember this technique names also. Because further when we solve the passages, I use only technique words. So skimming we need to use. What is that skimming? So skimming means what? You're taking out some important stuff. You're not reading unwanted things here. Okay, because you need to know only main idea. See, main idea, because we have the main idea presented in the first sentence only. And even how it is concluded, that is in the last sentence. Why do we need explanation and example? At least to summarize, I don't think we need explanation and example. And see, if you people further read this explanation and example, you will be getting confused. Why? Because while they explain, they may use different ideas to explain. While they give examples, they may take some indirect examples and present also. We don't want to over strain our minds with extra informations. We just need to know what is happening in the passage. Okay, so that is why what we'll do, we do the skimming process where we read. So first sentence or idea and last sentence of the paragraph, of every paragraph. Okay, what we are going to do? We are going to read first sentence also and last sentence also we are going to read. And we are not just reading, guys. We are reading and understanding. Reading and understanding the idea. Right? This is for every. If we have 4 paras, you will be coming across 4 ideas and conclusion. When you sum them up together, you are going to get so the main idea here. Okay, so this is our skimming. We'll be doing right now the same thing. But before that, let me also tell you when you see the first paragraph, when you see the first paragraph, say you have 4 paragraphs, okay, but in the first paragraph, you get the cue for the topic and main argument of the passage. See, idea, conclusion, you're choosing. While you're choosing idea and conclusion, in the first paragraph itself, you get the main topic. What is that passage is based on? And then, so you will also have the main argument there. Okay, I'll be showing that. So that you people need to precisely note down what is the topic and what is the main argument. Next, corresponding passages, whatever you get, so that will be talking. The movement of the argument will be happening. Movement of the argument tends to happen here. That means what? Whether they are talking in favor of this argument, they are going against this argument, or they are adding more details for this argument, or they are researching on these arguments, that will come across in our consecutive paragraph. Let's try to, what is that, do this skimming process now. So now I want you people to skim along with me. So then I'll talk about the different types of questions. Okay. So just give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Yeah. This is the passage 1. Now I want you people to read the first sentence and last sentence of every paragraph. First, let us do the first paragraph, okay? And let us talk, let us identify what is the topic and what is the argument here, okay? So now kindly go through this. The fossil remains of the first flying vertebrates, the pterosaurs, have intrigued paleontologists for more than 2 centuries. So here they are saying what? The fossil remains of the first flying vertebrate. So even if you don't know what is vertebrate and everything, doesn't matter. So just understand they are talking about the fossil remains of pterosaurs, which have intrigued paleontologists. Intrigued means confused paleontologists more than 2 centuries, it seems. So this itself is what? A kind of argument here. What is the argument here? The argument here is the fossil remains of a species, Pterosaurus, is confused. It has confused paleontologists, okay, for more than 2 centuries. That itself is the main argument. And what is the topic? About what they are talking about? They are talking about Pterosaurus, isn't it? So what is the main topic? So the topic is they're talking about Pterosaurus, which is the first flying vertebrate. Got it, guys? So now you people can make a note. So the topic here is the vertebrate, that is first flying vertebrate, Pterosaurus. And the second thing here is what? So what is the main argument? So scientists are confused here. Let us see the last sentence. Where do we have the last sentence? Yeah, here in this only 2 sentences we have. Therefore, let us see the last sentence. How such large creatures, which weighed in some cases as much as piloted Aang and had wingspan so big, solved the problem of powered flight, and exactly what these creatures were, reptiles or birds, are among the questions scientists have puzzled. Now there is a clarity here. Now what scientists are confused about? Whether these pterosaurs, reptiles or birds. Okay. So now we got the idea. What it is trying to say? Pterosaurus. The topic is Pterosaurus. Scientists are confused whether this Pterosaurus are reptiles or birds depending upon the fossil fuels they have got. Okay. So this is the kind of thing that we have in our first paragraph. You know now argument also, you know now topic also. Let's see how the second, third, and next passages are going on, paragraphs are going on. Perhaps the least controversial assertion about the pterosaurs is that they were reptiles. Now, how this argument is going on? They said they are confused. Now, in the second paragraph, they are trying to say the least controversial assertion about the pterosaurs is that they were reptiles. That means here, more or less, they are agreeing that pterosaurs is accepted mostly to be reptiles. That means what? Now they are actually infringing on one idea. That means they are going about one specification. Pterosaurs could be reptiles. Why? Because that is the least controversial assertion. Fine. Second paragraph, idea is what? They are focusing on stating that pterosaurs could be reptiles. So that is the first, this one sentence we have. As I said, we are only going for the last sentence. When a pterosaurus walked or remained stationary, the fourth finger and with it the wing could only turn upward in an extended, distorted V shape along each side of the animal's body. Here they are describing when it is walking, what happens to its fourth finger, wing, and it is basically they are describing the body appearance. So when pterosaurs walk. But what is the claim that they have presented in the second paragraph? They have presented nothing but they are trying to say that the least controversial idea is that pterosaurs could be reptiles. And last thing what they are doing when they walk, they are trying to support that only. Now, when they walk, their wings are V-shaped and the same thing. That's it. Now, don't read the mid of the paragraph until I say, okay. Now, go for the next paragraph. So, next paragraph is what? The pterosaurs resembled both birds and bats in their overall structure and proportions. Now we are what they are saying. The pterosaurs, it resembled. They are again going with the claim that has been put forth in the first paragraph that it could be reptile or bird. We don't know. But now it is here trying to say it. They are trying to say that it resembled both birds and bats in its overall. This one it seems. What is that last part? In the birds, however, these bones are reinforced more massively by internal struts. That means they are particularly talking about in birds, however, twist is there. When we have however, that means this sentence is not complete sentence. Why? Because it may have some other idea previously. Why? It is a twister. It is a transition word. However, so this one, nevertheless, all these are transition words. Whenever we have them, you need to look back to one more sentence there. Okay. So let us try to see one more sentence so that we'll understand this. Otherwise, also, if you see, if you're more precise in understanding the sentence, it is understood they're talking the difference of the birds. Why? In birds, however, these bones are reinforced more massively by internal struts. That means they are telling some structural difference in birds particularly. Okay. So that means what? Here they are talking, they are telling that, so pterosaurs has no resemblance to birds here. Isn't it? Even though they have resemblance, but they have lastly concluded that birds have something different than pterosaurs. If you want, you read the previous sentence. Both the pterosaurs and birds have hollow bones, a feature that represent a saving in weight. Here they are saying that it has, but in birds, all these are reinforced into massive internal studs. That means they are talking difference here. Here it shows what the third paragraph is trying to show, that in spite of some resemblance, pterosaurs differ from birds. Okay. First paragraph, claim. Second paragraph, it claimed that pterosaurs more or less act like this one, reptiles. Second one, it is going against birds. Even though there is resemblance, but still there is a difference between birds and pterosaurs. Now, let us see. Although scales typically cover reptiles, the pterosaurs probably had airy cores. Now again they are telling like the minute difference but the same feature. What is that? Although scales, reptiles are covered with scales, but here pterosaurs is covered with airy cores. That means they are talking about some kind of resemblance again with reptiles. Okay, even though reptiles has a covering, even pterosaurs has a covering here. Okay, then the recent discovery of a pterosaurus specimen covered in long, dense, and relatively thick air-like fossil material was the first clear evidence that his reasoning was correct. So here they are talking about the fossil that they received, which had air-like fossil. Okay, so that means they are saying, so reptiles are covered with scales, but pterosaurs are covered with airy cores. But both this has a covering, which is a similarity. Okay, so that means here again they are justifying for what? Our reptiles. I mean pterosaurs are reptiles. And see the next one. Efforts to explain how the pterosaurs become airborne have led to suggestions that they launch themselves by jumping off this, and this through the waves. Now here, how did they become, even though they were reptiles, how did they become airborne? That means flying. So they have three theories here. One is by jumping from cliffs, they launch their flight, by dropping from trees, or even by raising this. Okay, so now the third calls for the high waves to channel upwards. The wind that made such waves, however, might have been too strong for the pterosaurs to cover their flight once airborne. That means here it is talking about the drawbacks for each of these suggestions. Okay, so now guys, you people see overall story about this is what they're talking about. Pterosaurs, first paragraph said they more or less reptiles. Third paragraph so defended that in spite of some resemblance to birds, it is not a bird. Then fourth paragraph, it again resembled with reptiles. Fifth paragraph, the flying techniques, which was proved to be wrong here. Okay, we did not read completely anything. We read only first sentence, last sentence, first sentence, last sentence. Now, if you want, you see whatever the theory I said. What did I say? We will be having a statement, main idea, explanation. They try to evidence that and they try to conclude that. Now, you people yourselves go through each of this paragraph and see whether the mid of the paragraph add any extra information that we did not had it in our summary. Go through and tell me. I'll be giving you time. Go through this. Once you go through this particular slide, tell me, I'll shift to another slide. Finished? Let me read only. See, their skulls, pelvises, in feet are reptilian, the anatomy of their wing. See, it is justifying why they were more or less reptiles. The anatomy of their wing suggests that they did not evolve into the class of birds. Okay, in Pterosaurus, a greatly elongated fourth finger and this wing line. The other fingers were short and reptilian with short claws. Miss, everywhere it is trying to give the justification that it is a reptile. Okay, in birds, the second finger is this, which is if the Pterosaurus walked on, all the three fingers were may have been employed for grasping. When a Pterosaurus walked or remained stationary, the fourth finger and this. That means, tell me, in this, what that point was, what did we see? We saw that Pterosaurus, they claim that could be a reptile. The same thing is there, na? They are explaining that. They are giving example and they are explaining. Guys, if you read this mid of the paragraph, at least just for summary, it is a waste of time, right? Isn't it waste of time? And also you will be out of pressure, time limit is there, so it's a time based test, isn't it? We can't basically waste time like this. Okay, so at least for our summary, what we need to do, we need to basically just read first sentence, last sentence, so that you understand the passage. Okay, and why we need to have the summary? We need to have the summary to connect ourselves, to feel happy. Yeah, I know something about the passage. Okay, rather than being lost, so rather than being alien to the passage, you will be feeling that, yeah, I know what is happening in the passage. I'll say one more very, very important benefit of having the summary. Then, here, see, it resembles the thing. We are reading the mid of the passage. This is not surprising because the design of any flying vertebrate is subject to aerodynamic constraints. Both the pterosaurs, that's what they are explaining, why we see that overall structure is same. And again, it is talking about the difference. And here it is talking about the covering. Okay. So now what is that? T.H. Huxley reasoned that flying vertebrates must have been warm-blooded because flying implies a high rate of metabolism, which is turns this. So they are saying like whichever the flying vertebrate, they need to have warm blood. But so how it can be done, why it is, all these things explained. Huxley speculated that a coat of airy would insulate against the loss of body heat and might streamline the body to reduce the drag in flight. That's what. So that is why he is telling that, okay, so pterosaurs were also flying vertebrate, because of which what happened, they needed that warmness. So that is the reason it was covered with hairy coat. Okay, so the recent discovery of it, then the thing we have already read. That means what? More or less, it is justifying. Reptiles also need the blood to be warm, so only it was covered with scales. And this also need the warm thing. That is the reason it is covered with hairy coats here. Okay, so that's the basic idea we have. Now, the next thing, what is that we have? The airborne. See, as I said, all the theories were flop. See, each hypothesis has its difficulties to explain. The first wrongly assumes this. They are explaining. The second hypothesis seem unlikely. So the third calls for having the this. That means what? Whatever the theory they gave about flying, okay, of this pterosaurus, they all flayed because of some or the other reason. Guys, tell me now whether it was like necessary for us to read the complete paragraph or complete passage. Do we have to read the complete passage, or we can skim out the main idea? What is the best thing? So totally we can say that the main idea here is whether pterosaurus is a reptile or bird, and it is focusing on, ultimately it is focusing on that maybe it is reptile, maybe, but not completely. That is the main idea or the primary purpose of the this one author here. Now, you read so many things in between. Guys, if you read complete passage like this and also look at the words and everything, Don't you think the words and all were very complicated? In the beginning, when you're reading the passage only, if you read all those things, so nothing will enter into our brain. Okay. So therefore, what our journey to answer the questions will become very difficult. That is the reason I always tell you guys. So whenever you get reading comprehensions, okay, long reading comprehensions, whereas for short I'll give you a complete different outlook. For long reading comprehensions, first you need to summarize. Remember, summarize passage, not even looking at the question. Don't do that mistake. Summarize the passage. How do you summarize the passage? By reading first sentence and first sentence or idea. Why I use this disclaimer, sentence or idea, means because, yeah, if any sentence, if the first sentence is ending with some kind of transition words, however, but, or all these things, you need to read the second sentence also. If your previous sentence is also starting with any kind of pronoun or your transition word, you need to read with the previous sentence. Pronouns, in the sense, even that both also is a pronoun. However, also is a pronoun. Okay. So, although is also, however is a transition word. Although is also a transition word. So, I'll show the transition list also. You people need to read the previous sentence. Otherwise, just plainly the first sentence and last sentence. Why? The first sentence and last sentence will help you guys to understand what exactly is happening without lot of confusions. Okay. So if you want, you people read the complete passage and use this method also, you will see that you will better understand by using this skimming process. And I said one of the important benefit of our skimming. See, when you do skimming now, what happens, you know? You will be coming to know in each paragraph what idea is there. Isn't it? What idea is presented, that very easily you people will come to know. And because if you know in which paragraph what they are discussing, as soon as you read the question, you won't go through the entire passage. What you will do? You will just come back to that particular passage. For example, let me again show some of the questions here. And let me say, yeah. It can be inferred from the passage that this inference question from the passage it is there. So you need to go through each sentence. Okay. So now let us go through each sentence only. Enormous wingspan of the pterosaurs enabled them to fly great distances. So where about wingspan and all we're talking about, in which paragraph? It was in the first paragraph. Huh? And the skeleton and all, where it was talking about skeleton, birds and all, it was in third paragraph. If you want to see this sentence, you will directly go to third paragraph. You won't go through the complete this one. No? So the problem of powered flight. So how did they solve the problem of powered flight? Where in the last paragraph they were talking about this, right? So problem of, how did they solve the problem of power flight? So from where they, in which paragraph they were talking about the flight problem? It was talking about in the last paragraph. Pterosaurs were reptiles. They were talking about in second, this one. Walked on all four legs. So this also about the walking part. So it was in the second paragraph. You won't see when you read the this one, when you skim through, you will be exactly knowing in which paragraph what they are talking. So depending upon the requirement, you will just go to that particular paragraph there. Okay. So let me take one more questions here. According to the passage, the skeleton of the pterosaurs can be distinguished from that of a bird by. So where they were talking about the skeleton of the pterosaurs when compared with birds? It was in the third paragraph, right? Whether now you will go to the first paragraph, second paragraph. No, you will not know. Why? Because you will know that where exactly they are talking. So what you will do? You will directly go to the third paragraph. That means you are saving time there, isn't it? Otherwise, one will go and wander around the complete passage. You will be clueless where what information is there. Now, the ideas attributed to T.H. Huxley. T.H. Huxley's theory, in which paragraph they were talking about? Fifth paragraph. Fourth paragraph, I guess. In the fourth paragraph, they were talking when they were talking about the hair coats covering the pterosaurus, isn't it? So that means you know exactly where it is. Now, what you will do? Will you go again to first, second, and third paragraph, or directly go to the paragraph where this information is there? It is saving time. It saves your confusion. It saves your brain from getting distorted. So that is why. That is why we say so. And also your answers will be accurate. Why? Because you know in which paragraph what idea is there. You will be going there exactly, and you will be so picking up the right. At least you will get the right spot there. Okay, that is the reason we try to say kindly what is that, use the skimming process here. So for every question, if you see here that clue which way that idea is presented, that will be easily found by skimming process. So kindly what is that, you people need to practice this skimming process. As it looks, skimming is not very easy. Actually, it is easy, but you need to attain that. When you're skimming also, when you ideate, okay, when you pick up that idea, that picking up the idea is very, very important. So kindly practice this skimming process. So tomorrow we'll be discussing different types of questions, and we'll be picking up, and each of this question have different techniques to be used. You can't use main idea questions technique to solve inference question, and to solve inference question technique you cannot use for specific detailed questions. So therefore you need to use what is that, different types of what is that, I can say, techniques. Right, guys? So yeah, any questions for the day? uh, the questions will not be in the same order. It can be anywhere. It can be mixed. Just now I showed you, right? So it can be mixed. Any other questions? Okay. I guess no questions. So, okay. Any others with any other queries? Any vocabulary? Definitely you need to have vocabulary requirements as well. That means you need to understand the words. Okay, I'll be showing for like what are the important words that we need to work on, because at least for the understanding of the passage, so this one words, see, some of them we can oversee, but we cannot oversee all the words, right? So yes, definitely you need to work on. But however, GRE students, not to worry. Why? Because you need to anyways work on different words for your sentence sequence and text completion. So therefore, so you will be working on the words, so don't worry there. Okay. See, altogether you may get 5 to 6 passages. Actually, see, tough. Definitely, it is competitive exam, so it will be mm, tough. But if you approach in the right direction, it is not at all tough. Yeah. So preparing, that is what we are showing you, like how to prepare on and everything. You please attend all the classes. You will get the details of how to prepare for each of the section, how you need to approach the exam. So all these things you will be having here. Okay. So that is why we detailedly go. Even how to summarize also, I'm showing it in detail, because we are not just saying, okay, you summarize, then approach the question. No, we practically show whatever the techniques we are trying to teach you guys, that we are practically showing here. Okay. So do you train for GRE all for free, or is there any fee? See, this is a free session only. So all these complete sessions that we are conducting here, it's completely free. You can approach our admin. So they will be giving you the complete details. You know that we also conduct classes for IELTS. So our this one, what is that? Duolingo. So all these exams we conduct classes. What about other English tests that is easier? See, if you're going for MS, you need to have GRE, and one language test you need to have, either IELTS or TOEFL if you're looking for USA. GRE, if you're going for MS, it is GRE. If you're going for MBA or management related course, so then it should be GMAT. So if you're trying for everyday training for, no, it is every day. The complete 5 days in a week we'll be having. It's a complete 1 week, means almost 2.5 months classes we'll be having for GRE, Monday to Friday. Same 8:30 to 9:30. Same link. Yes. Yeah, our admin also posted the link. You guys can join this link as well. Okay. Any other queries, anyone? Okay then. Bye guys. Over to you, admin.
Thank you, ma'am. Also, if anyone has any doubt related to the Ubergrad website or any other thing, you may ask now. No, we'll be using the same link for the classes. Though you will be getting an email, you get an email every day, but yeah, it's the same link. Any other doubts, you may ask now. Thank you.